Initially, a lookup looks quite similar to a join, and depending upon the business requirement, a join and a lookup can be interchangeable. However, performing a lookup only returns a single value. Plus, the lookup can be used in conjunction with other primary tasks, such as a join, merge, aggregate, copy, and sort. We'll start this demo by opening a task that is just a very basic copy task that has an HDFS source and a target. Within this task, we're going to add the lookup source that is going to update or enhance the HDFS source file. I can run this job as a basic ETL lookup. However, I want to run this on Hadoop, and to do so, I need to specify within my task editor that this will be a MapReduce job. Now let's take a look within this task. This job was initially designed to run off the cluster. However, I want this job to be a MapReduce job. So in the job editor, we specify that this job will run on MapReduce, and within my task, I need to specify the sources will be HDFS. So I'm going to update my environment variable to use the environment variable representing all HDFS sources, and also establish the source or the remote file where this file can be found. When this task was initially designed to run off the cluster, it was assumed that the text files were just normal Windows text files. However, since this will now run on the cluster, we need to specify that the file source is HDFS on a Unix operating system. And I'll also update my target to also be HDFS. Now that I have my source and target in place, the next step is to add the lookup source or dimension file that will update or enhance the source file. And I do that by choosing the Add menu from the main menu up above. So by simply adding my lookup source is not going to magically update my source file. I'll need to insert a transformation function in order to use that lookup source to update my source file. I'm going to use the lookup function, and the way that I use that lookup function is by creating a new value. So I have started my process by creating a new value, and this value will be treated as a field, and this field will return the matching part name. And the function that I'll choose to return the matching part name will be the lookup function. And by choosing the lookup function, it will return a helper dialog that makes it easy for me to set up my lookup and return the appropriate value. After creating a value that contains a lookup function to return the part name field, I want to use that part name and display that information as part of my target. So by default, when you define a source and a target, the target will share the layout of the source file. However, I want the target to have many of the fields that the source has, but I want it to also include my part name through that value field that I just defined. And the way that I redefine my layout for the target is through an option called a reformat. My task is now complete. As you can see, the task has been updated with the inclusion of the lookup source. You can identify lookup sources with dotted lines within the tasks. This could have originated as an ETL job, and it can be easily transformed for processing or running on MapReduce simply by setting the option as a MapReduce job and then including your HDFS sources within the task.